No way! No way! Oh my gosh. Okay. Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. This is Maj and Nick here, and for today's video, it's going to be something a little bit different. I've never done a tier list before, but I thought this would be a cool video to make as there are quite a few game passes for Pet Simulator 99 now, and I thought I would give my input on what game passes I think are the most worth it versus ones that maybe you shouldn't buy or ones that are just straight up garbage. But I'm not going to draw out this intro too much, I'm just going to get right into it. So starting off with VIP. Now, in the beginning of the game, when you're brand new, VIP is actually kind of decent because it gives you access to obviously the VIP area, the main point of it, which allows you to farm diamonds, just pure diamond breakables. And it's okay at first because if you need diamonds for just playing through the game and unlocking the upgrades that you get from the new areas that you unlock, then yeah, VIP is not bad because it'll give you just a little boost in diamonds. And it also has a VIP chest in there, which gives you, I think, 3 gift bags and then just a little bit of diamonds. Other than that, this literally serves no purpose at all, and it's really bad. VIP, besides that one specific use, is bad. Definitely, I would put this in the last thing I would buy. I can't say it's complete trash because it has some use to it. I mean, I would say it is trash after you get past the beginning parts of the game. Again, it still does have some use, so I can't put it in the very, very bottom. Okay, so this one is Magic Eggs. This game pass is really, really good for hatching. This game pass will allow you to hatch rainbow pets and golden pets a lot easier, a lot faster, and it also affects huges as well. So you can hatch rainbow huges a lot easier, golden huges a lot easier, and the price of it, it's not too bad, but it is, I think, 1,200 Robux last time I checked, so it is a fair bit. I think that's like, what, $15 or something, US dollars. So do I think it's worth it? Absolutely. Should it be your first priority though? No, I wouldn't say so. So I would just put it in the worth it category. If you're going to buy game passes, this is definitely one of them to get as it will help you out a lot, but it shouldn't be your first priority. So next up, we got the pet equips. This one is really, really, really good. What it does is just it gives you an extra 15 pet equips, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, 15 pet equips, and it's 375 Robux. So that's actually a pretty fair price considering how much some of these are going to be costing. And 15 pet equips will really make a difference in your farming setup. You will be able to farm the last area a lot easier and a lot faster, and it'll just make your farming a lot more effective. So I would say this is definitely worth it. I would put this above the Magic Eggs one just because I feel that it's just a bit more important than the Magic Eggs. All right, so now we got the Huge Hunter Game Pass. This might be a little controversial, okay? So as of lately, a lot of players, including myself, has been experiencing / noticing that getting huges from the last egg, the active huges, is a lot harder than it used to be. And I don't know why. Maybe they just secretly nerfed the chances of getting active huges. But even having the Huge Hunter enchant, honestly, it's still really hard to hatch these active huges. Despite getting that 2,500% increase, I don't see this being really worth buying at all right now. I don't want to put it into the trash category because it's not trash. A 2,500% boost for getting active huges is pretty good, but it's definitely not worth buying right now because getting huges right now is just so bad. And if you guys haven't seen my video recently, I hatched for 60 hours straight with 3,000% huge chance, and that's with the Huge Hunter Game Pass because you wouldn't be able to get that high of a percentage otherwise. And I got 0 huges in 60 hours of straight hatching with, like, I think I had 96 egg openings at the time. I wouldn't recommend anyone to buy this right now. And also, to top it all off, it cost 3,250 Robux. What? That is so expensive. It's really not worth it right now. So definitely one of the last things that I would buy. So I actually don't know what this is. This looks like just the auto hatch button, but obviously that's not a game pass. Okay, never mind. So this is actually the auto farm game pass. I don't know why they use this little arrow picture here. It's usually represented with the picture of the pet, but whatever. Auto farm game pass. This one is really, really, really good. And for the price of it too, it's 175 Robux. This is literally so cheap. And what it does, for those of you who don't know, Auto Farm Game Pass basically allows you to leave your pets in one area and they could just farm forever. So this means paired up with either a magnet flag enchant or the super magnet enchant, this makes it so you could hatch forever. This is a really strong game pass, and I really recommend if you're going to buy game passes, you should definitely get this one. And this is going to be the first game pass in first priority just because of how strong it is and how much you can do with this game pass. Really, really solid. All right, the auto tap game pass. So this one is interesting because it's not that good, because you can just turn on an auto clicker and have it accomplish the same thing. But it's also good in the sense that it's just a lazy way of tapping things. Like you can break chests without having to spam click. And if you walk into an area, it will start tapping on breakables near you and breaking them. So it's not that bad. It does have some use. And I would recommend buying it kind of. It's just kind of like a quality of life game pass, if I'm being honest. It's definitely not necessary. I definitely wouldn't recommend buying it over others. So I would put this probably in the last thing I would buy. I was thinking maybe later, but if I'm putting Huge Hunter and VIP in the last thing I would buy, this has to go in there too, because there's no way auto tap is better than these two game passes. All right, so next up we got the daycare slots game pass. Now, if you had asked me before the Tech World came out, I would have put this directly into trash because that's what it was back then. But for 625 Robux, you get an additional 25 slots in your daycare. And basically this ups your chances of getting the huge Meebo in a spaceship and also the huge machine egg, the Blur Dominus one. It gives you just a much higher chance of trying to get those. And I've actually gotten a machine egg from the daycare, and probably I wouldn't have gotten it if it wasn't for this daycare game pass, because it allows for an extra 250 luck when you're putting your pets in. But is it a first priority game pass? Definitely not. Is it worth it? Definitely. But I would still put this in the maybe later, because it's not so important that it's going to completely affect your gameplay, but it will help you out for sure. It's more of like a long-term investment. It doesn't really help you right away. I mean, you could get some extra diamonds and items from it, but that really only helps the newer players. But it's a pretty solid game pass overall, and the price isn't too steep. I think it should be like 400 Robux, not 625. I think that's a bit too much. Overall, not bad. Next up, we have the Lucky Game Pass. This one's okay. It's not too bad. Pretty much all it does is help you hatch the rare stat pets faster. This doesn't affect your huge chances at all, as luck in the game does not have to do with active huges. And it does cost 275 Robux, so the price isn't that bad either. And it does pretty much what it says it does. It just gives you more luck for hatching. So do I recommend it? Yeah, but I think it also goes into that maybe later category, because it will help you for sure with hatching and speeding up the process of getting good stat pets, but it's not required. Next up, we have plus 15 egg hatches. So what the name implies is you can open up 15 more eggs at one time. So this is actually pretty good. This will help you hatch huges a lot faster, and it'll help you hatch stat pets a lot faster. And it actually costs the same amount as the daycare slot game pass. It's 625 Robux. I definitely think this is way better than the daycare game pass, and it is very much worth getting, but I don't think it's quite as good as the 15 pet equips, so I'm gonna put it right in the middle of worth it. I definitely think you guys should get it if you can, and definitely prioritize this over these other bottom tier ones. Next up, we got the Ultra Lucky Game Pass. This one costs a whopping 800 Robux, so this is about $10 USD. This one is pretty good too. It's gonna do exactly what it says it's gonna do. It's gonna help you hatch those good stat pets a lot faster, just like how the regular Lucky Game Pass does, but it costs a lot more Robux, and I don't know the exact percentage of how much it boosts your luck chance. Actually, I just checked, so it's 500% luck, and this is 200% luck. That's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty good. But again, it's kind of the same as this Lucky Game Pass here. It will help you for sure, but is it that necessary? I would say no, because you could just buy the highest stat pets anyways from farming with diamonds, so it's not that big of a deal, but it does help if you like hatching a lot. It's just the price of it is a little much. I would prefer to see this around 625, similar to how the daycare game pass is. I would still recommend it. It definitely is not a first priority, and it is worth it-ish, but I would put it in maybe later, and I'm going to put it right in between of the Lucky game pass and the daycare one. Now there are 2 game passes that are actually not on this list, so I'm just gonna talk about them and say where I would rank them. So the first one would be Super Drops, coming in at a whopping 2,400 Robux. This is a very expensive game pass, but it is also a very strong game pass too. This game pass essentially enables you to make so much money from farming for items in the last area that it becomes way stronger than diamond farming, and it boosts your rate of progression by so much. But the only downside of it is that it's 2,400 Robux. That's a lot. Do I think it's a first priority game pass? I would say it's just below that. I would say it's definitely worth it, and I would probably put it, I'm trying to decide if it should go in front of the 15 pet equips or behind it. I think I'm gonna go behind it just because those pet equips are so good for farming, and so is the super drops. But if I had to pick one to buy the super drops or the 15 pet equips, I'm probably gonna opt for the pet equips. Now you guys could disagree with me in the comments below, and if you do, explain your reasoning, because I'm just curious on it. I want to see what you guys think, and maybe you'll change my opinion. I don't know, but that's where I would put it. I would put it in the worth it category, towards the top of it. So the final game pass for this tier list is going to be the Double Stars game pass. This one is also a lot of Robux. It's also 2,400, the same exact price as the Super Drops one. And what do I think of this one? It's honestly, it's pretty good. It speeds up the process of ranking up so much, because hence the name, it gives you double stars for your quests. But I definitely wouldn't put it in the first priority, because while it is really good and it does help you out a lot and saves you tons of time, it's just so expensive that I definitely wouldn't prioritize this over any of these game passes here, or honestly any of these game passes here too. In the maybe later or worth it category, I would put this at the very end of maybe later, because it's definitely not the last thing I would buy, because again, it does save you a lot of time, but just for the price of it, it's so much money for just such a simple thing. If it was like 1,200 Robux, like how this Magic Eggs game pass is, that would be completely fair. Then I would put it probably in worth it or be higher up and maybe later. But because it's 2,400 Robux, that's just too much for such a simple game pass like that. But that pretty much wraps up the entire tier list. As you can see, I have nothing in the trash category, because I don't think any of the game passes are genuinely terrible. The only contender for the trash category would be VIP, and honestly, I'm gonna move the VIP to right here just because I think auto tap has more use than VIP. That might sound a little crazy to some of you, but again, once you get past those earlier stages of the game, VIP is utterly worthless. Like, I never have any use for VIP nowadays. It was literally good for like the first week I played the game, but auto tap I still have use for, and Huge Hunter I definitely have use for. So yeah, I think VIP is more fitting to be at the very bottom of last thing I would buy, but it's not trash, like I said earlier in the video, because it does have some use and some implications, just little to none. But yeah, that's my whole tier list. Let me know what you guys think of it in the comments below. Do you agree with my tier list? Do you disagree? Do you think some of my choices are completely outrageous? I feel like I'm gonna get some heat for this Huge Hunter game pass, but that's just my opinion, and feel free to comment your opinion down below. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you found this video interesting, make sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.